23dB Production Studios in the Garden State, New Jersey, this is The Art of Music Tech with your hosts, Fela and Denis.
Let's go, and welcome to the Art of Music Tech podcast. Thank you for listening, sharing via YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Podbean, all of that. I'm your host, Fela, and over there is Denis.
Hi, everybody.
All right. Denis.
Introduce the guest, please.
Oh,
I
yes.
Can't wait.
Oh, yes. A friend of mine for many years now in production from when I lived in Miami area. We worked in audio visual. At a hotel those days. But now we've both moved up, and she does video on tour with acts like Eminem, Kanye, David Gilmour of Pink Floyd, and Imagine Dragons. And she's currently on tour, actually on the worldwide tour, On the Run Tour 2 with Jay-Z and Beyonce doing video. How are you? We're with Liselle Bertrand.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me, Fela.
Oh, thank you for coming on and squeezing us in on your New Jersey stop on the Run Tour. Squeezing it in. Wow, that tour is killing right now.
Crazy schedule. We had a load in today to set up for 2 shows at the MetLife Stadium.
Oh, fantastic. Yep. Pass it by there on the daily. Wow. What exactly do you do on that tour?
Well, I am a camera operator, so I operate one of the cameras at front of house. There are quite a few cameras on the tour.
How many?
There are about 16 cameras on the tour. And there's also a spider camera, which it's pretty much like those that you maybe see at the football games. They're rigged to truss, and it can really give more of like a 3D feel of the room.
Oh.
So
They move, right?
Yes, they move.
Okay.
Yeah. So I operate one of the front of house cameras for the tour, and I also we run, sometimes it seems like miles of cable to, make all these cameras work.
We've seen pictures on IG, Facebook, and I mean, that tour is killing the scene right now. And it looks beautiful. I know it must be a lot of work to set up.
Yes, it definitely is a lot of work to set up, but it takes what you're seeing on Instagram is, efforts of an entire crew. With lighting and the camera work, the director. It's maybe the biggest crew I've ever worked on. I think it's upward, maybe around the area of 200 people to put everything together. So it takes a massive crew.
And it's all stadiums, right?
And it's all stadiums, yeah.
So
what was your call time
all
today?
stadiums, 50 to maybe 70,000 people sometimes. Yeah.
Ooh,
The call time today, tell me, what time did you have to start?
Oh, well,
your
my
gig
call
today?
time today, luckily, was 9:15. Not too bad. I mean, in the beginning of the tour, it took us some time to set up, like all tours do. And now we have it down to maybe about 8 hours, which is great. So we can have a little bit of time. But we're doing good now. I mean, it's like kind of running at this point in time after 18 shows in Europe. And we are maybe on to maybe number 4 or 5 in the US. It's kind of running like a well-oiled machine.
Okay.
We know what we have to do.
In sync,
and
right?
third.
You're
Yes,
more in
it's
sync.
very
with
much in sync.
them. Okay, great. Yeah. Where are you from, Liselle? I just met you. I know you through social media and Fela.
Yeah.
But I want to know who you are.
I am from the small island of Dominica. which is right in between Martinique and Guadeloupe, where, not to be confused with the Republic, to the listeners out there, but we are the English-speaking island, which is a few islands north of Barbados. Yeah. So I am from there. I left Dominica at 17 years old, right after high school, and I went to college in Fort Lauderdale. I went to the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale, and that's where I started my video production degree. At that time, I thought I was going to become a music video director.
All right.
But, sometimes dreams do change. I mean, that was it then, back. What really inspired me to get into the business was BET, music videos on BET, and seeing music videos done by Hype Williams. So that was really the start of, my inspiration. That and films by Spike Lee.
Oh, wow. He's your favorite?
He's one of my favorites.
Okay,
definitely.
top 3. Name them.
I would have to say Martin Scorsese.
Great.
Spike Lee. Those are my top 2. The others...
Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan, definitely.
Okay.
John Singleton. Any directors who've worked on Game of Thrones.
Okay.
What else? Oh my gosh, there's so many.
All right. I mean, fair enough. That's good.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
And
All
those
right.
the top ones. Yeah,
Cool.
I like them too. So great.
Nice.
Okay, so what happens then?
Yeah, from school.
So from Art Institute, I think I graduated at about like 20, still very young. And then after that, I worked at Channel 7 News in Miami. I started off there in the Feed Bay area, and I spent maybe 2 years there at Channel 7 News. In the beginning, I remember making $6.25 an hour. And I remember one day going quickly for lunch, and I saw at McDonald's they were making the same amount of money. So I was like, how can I have a degree and be making $6.25 an hour? So that really did push me to get a better position. And I said, I want to do camera in the studio. But then that wasn't so easy. I had to apply like 3 times before I got that position. Eventually, I did.
I mean, you had some skills by then, right?
Sorry?
I mean, you had skills already by then when you were applying for those jobs and positions, right?
Right, yes, because I used to do production assistant on music videos in Miami, and whatever I could do, whatever jobs to get myself.
What videos did you work on?
Oh, way back when it was some of it was with Khalid, and
Early Khaled.
and oh gosh, there's another rapper.
Oh, what's it? Slipping.
Paul Wall.
Oh,
I remember doing that. And then
People's Champ.
Slip and Slide Records. Trick
Yeah.
Daddy and Trina, they used to do a weekend DVD, and I had worked on that, But
Yeah. The King of Miami. Yeah, exactly.
definitely.
All right. And so from that, is that when we met?
No,
After
actually,
that,
after that, after doing studio camera, I felt that I was still very young, and this was not the end. I found out about Full Sail, and I went on a tour of the school, and then I said, oh my gosh, that's where I want to go. I want to go to school at Full Sail. So then I went there for bachelor's in entertainment business. And then fast forward to graduation, and a company came to, speak to us about possibly working for their company, and that was Swank Audio Visuals, which is where we met Fela. So
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
what year was that?
that was in 2005 or 6.
Yeah. I started working.
2005 or 6.
Yeah, like 2006, I started working there.
Yeah, so we've known each other for more than 10 years.
Okay.
Ah,
So you
yeah.
did video, right?
And we both went to Full Sail, but not at the same time. I went in 2001, 2002. So, yeah, but
Yeah.
that's where we met up.
Yeah.
That was the beginning.
Definitely. And those days were not easy because working at a hotel is every single day of the year, 24 hours. It's never closed, really. So our mornings, sometimes we had very early mornings and really, really late nights. But the toughest thing is that neither of us got to be creative
Yeah.
at that job. So I think Fela ended up getting out a lot sooner than I did,
Yeah.
which I'm sure motivated me to eventually get out.
Yeah, a year late, I only could stand it a year. Yeah. But
Not easy.
And those gigs aren't easy. Yeah, we've done so many AV
No,
gigs.
oh
Fela
my
and I
gosh.
did.
oh yeah, and
so many
I've
AV
dabbled back in it over the years. Pay some bills and
Yeah.
whatnot. But to do it full time like we were doing it, it was just like a bit of a soul crusher. Because I mean,
Definitely.
I'm just a little bit more. Well, we're both more on the creative realm than just sitting up, tear down, sitting up, tear down.
Yeah. Especially when you
Unloading
have a
big trucks.
passion for, the feel you want to
Yeah.
feel like you're being rewarded to, in a sense. And if you do a show or something with music that you enjoy, even if
Yeah.
you might not be making as much as you like to, it is rewarding when you enjoy it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
great.
And the money comes. So
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, they'll
it's,
come eventually.
Yeah. So from Swank, what's that story?
So from Swank is where I started my touring career, but that in itself did not come easy. Now at Swank, that's one of the reasons why I always see you have to trust the process, because I met a production manager. They called me and one weekend, Swank Audio Visuals, and they told me, Liselle, can you work on this Saturday? And I was like, oh my goodness, I haven't had a Saturday off in weeks. But when they told me that it was a charity event and Lil Wayne was going to be there and Patti LaBelle and I think Craig David, I said, oh my gosh, okay, that's an opportunity for me to meet someone in the business, not necessarily the artist, but someone who could then give me a job, give me an opportunity, open up a door. And that is where I met a production manager. And I think all he gave me was his email address. That was it. Because, of course, there's not many females in the business. And I think he looked at me and figured, like, what, you really want to tour? Do you know you're going to be on a bus with maybe 12 or 13 other guys? It's not going to be a lot of sleep. And I said, yes, this is what I want to do.
And that's what you do already.
Yes. So,
with
right?
AV.
That's what I'm doing.
For much less money.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes.
And way more stressed out. Yeah.
Exactly. So he gave me his email address, and then the next day he had my resume. And he told me, well, being a production manager, he can't just hire me as a video person. The video production company has to hire me because it's separate entities under one umbrella, to make the shows work. It's a different lighting company, different video. Sometimes they're the same, but, most of the time it's different companies. And after calling that company and telling them, hey, I want to go on tour, they had my resume, and then they told me, okay, we'll call you when we have a gig. But wait a minute, backtracking, because this is making it seem too easy. That production manager, I actually had to keep contacting and calling for almost 2 years. So I had to be really persistent, because maybe if I gave up, he would have forgotten me. I think I used to call him for Thanksgiving and Happy New Year to really say, hey, I'm still here and I still want this opportunity. So it took 2 years of hanging on to that one contact for this touring thing to happen. I did not give up. So eventually, the video company called me and they said, hey, Liselle, we have a 6-week tour with Lil Wayne. And I was so excited. But Eventually, one time they called me and they said, okay, sorry, the budget was cut. We cannot have you anymore. And I was so disappointed. But then maybe about another 6 months after, the same video company called. But they called then because when a Lil Wayne concert came to town, the one that I was cancelled off of, I said, you know what? I am going to introduce myself to whoever is going to be hiring me. They can put a face to the name. And I think that made them see that, this girl really wants.
You went to the show?
Yes,
anyway?
I went to the show because I said, I want to see how maybe they load in or do a load out. And I'm going to introduce myself to the guy who's going to hire me. So even if they told me that I could not work on this tour anymore, I said, no, I am going to come to the show and introduce myself. And I think it was a few months after that they called me and they said, Liselle, would you like to work on a 2-week tour with Jay-Z and Eminem? I couldn't believe it. So that is how it happened.
The big stadium
Yeah.
joint. It was in Detroit and New York City at the Yankee Stadium. Yeah.
Exactly. So that was a big break, which didn't come easy.
Oh yeah. But where we were at, we had to just get out of that situation.
Eventually. And I remember asking my boss for 2 weeks off, but it was a week on and then there was a week break in between and then we had to go back again. And I said, listen, if you don't give me this time off, I'm going to quit. I'm not coming back. And he did, I think he realized that it had to have been something really important. So it all worked out. It all worked out and the rest is really history.
And it's been pretty much full time since then, or what was that transition?
It has not been full time. I will tell you, it has not been easy because touring is a very seasonal job. Sometimes I had been not working for 4 months and I had to learn to hustle the next gig because once a tour is over, that's it. It's done. Then you have to go on the next one. And it's a very competitive industry because, crews, sometimes they need 8 people in video. Sometimes they need 12 or 15 or 18. So it depends, and an artist will not tour every single year. So even if you work to this artist 1 year, it's not going to happen the next. It could take 2 or 3 years before you work with the same artist again. So I really had to broaden my horizon and contacts also and just keep calling. I had to learn to really be persistent, and way before a tour ends, I needed to, start picking up the phone and seeing what else is out there. Luckily enough, after a few years of doing it, then I had companies calling me.
Yeah.
So things have definitely, turned around. Once you do good work and I think likable is definitely important besides having education, but people want to know that they want to work with someone they like, in a sense. It's, when you're in environments where you kind of almost live with other people, that's also important too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I totally agree. Agree.
You got to be happy with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you still enjoy the process? So what's the process for you now? So you just set up, right? You do a lot of mechanical work, right?
It's a lot
what's a day for you usually on tour? On this particular tour?
On this particular one,
what's call time?
In most on stadium tours, if you look at tour dates, you will see there's dates in between, but that doesn't mean we're off. On those days, we are setting up because a stadium tour normally takes a full day. So we have a production day, and then the next day would be show. So on a production day, most of the times it's early in the morning, but that's if we're already in that city. Sometimes we're driving in from another city. We may have a 7-8+ hour drive. So sometimes we're actually setting up at 4:00 in the afternoon. That's when our day starts. It all depends on travel because we might end a show in one city after the show, we load out, and that can take us up to 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and then we have to drive to another city. That could be an 8-hour drive. So as soon as we get to the next city, then we start setting up. So it really varies according to travel and so on. But we had a day off, and so that means we could start early in the morning. And then when we do, we the trucks come in and they offload according to what needs to be set up first, second, or third. And then we, check equipment constantly to make sure, that for show day we are prepared. Sometimes switching out of equipment or cables, a lot of that goes on. Sometimes when you have rain and so on, that can definitely affect equipment.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much, it can take me up to, in the beginning, it was like we were setting up till 1-2 o'clock in the morning. And then now, if we start at maybe 9, we can possibly end, by 7-8 o'clock.
All right.
So that's a full day of,
in the morning
of setting up. Yeah, from in the morning to about 8 o'clock at night. So that's not too bad. In the beginning, it's tough. Sometimes you might take 3 days to set up the first time.
Yeah. You're just really tweaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do you think, Fela and I like to say, the gig is good until you get it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I can't really say much about this one. I mean, touring on a whole is not easy. You're, away from home, sometimes away from family or your significant other. And, I think for me, the most rewarding part of it is traveling to places I never thought I would have been able to get to. I always thought I might have to save up all my life to go to a lot of the cities I've been to in Europe. So I have been blessed for that. I think that has been an education experience in itself.
What's
traveling.
your favorite city? What? 3 of your favorite cities is?
I would have to say Prague. I love London. London is a place I could see myself living.
Yeah, it's nice.
London is nice. Nice. I like Paris also.
Yeah.
And I just recently went to Rome, but I didn't have enough time there.
Yeah.
So I would say my top 3 would be Prague, London, and Barcelona.
Oh, Barcelona, let's go.
Spain.
Yes, Spain. Barcelona has such a great vibe. Yeah. That's the first place that I traveled to, and I said I would definitely do an Airbnb there for a month. So
I'll be back.
Yes, I'll be back.
On your own terms.
Yes, on my own terms. When I don't have a call time the next day.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. Hitting the road, it's great. You learn that everybody's the same. It's like, oh, okay, yeah,
definitely, yes. Everybody all wants the same things.
Exactly.
In life, yes.
Yeah. It makes humanity. Yeah, you just really realize we're all the same. We all want the same things. Want to be happy. Want to have good food. Family,
right?
You're
right. I would say that's the number one thing when you travel, that you realize that we're all the same. We're all wanting the same things.
Yeah.
We should just accept everybody's differences.
Yeah. So what do you want to do next?
Next, I would say I would love to work on a series. Possibly on Netflix. Something like that, because that will then have me going home. I would like to be a part of the creative process. I still have a love and a passion for camera. So on tour the cameras are different than what is in film, of course. So, or what is being used to shoot any series right now. So it's a different format, which is something that I have to learn. And I have started the process, but it's I never really have all the time in the world to be able to learn it fully. So that is definitely my next goal. I would like to work on a series, because with that, then you can go home every night, whereas on tour you're gone for months.
Yeah. Oh,
So that is the next goal, for some more stability in my life.
Yeah, at least those 4 months when you don't have a gig.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's we're gonna fill that gap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Be able to go to Spain.
Right.
Chill out, decompress,
Yes.
and get your thoughts together, create shows, hey, let's go. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Liselle, for coming,
This was fantastic. Thank you so much for having me.
sharing your story. We usually talk a lot about audio on here, but I mean, this is just a great all-around production story. I mean, just how to get gigs. We get that question all the time. You do stuff like this, be super persistent. Don't
Definitely.
take no for an answer, or you find somebody else
For
to
sure.
bug. It's a process, but it's so fun. The people that you meet in this process as well, right? It's
I have
like-
met some of the coolest people, and
the
not even
world.
necessarily the artists, but I have worked with
Yeah.
some really amazing people who've all had
that want
such
you to win.
fantastic stories and want you to win. Yes, who are so supportive. And some of the best people I've met is through touring.
If your friends don't want you to win, then that ain't your friends.
Yeah, that ain't your
So-
friend. Exactly. And you have definitely been one of those, Fela.
Oh.
When I need some motivation, I call Fela. For real, for real.
Oh, thank you. Hey, you keep me motivated with those picks, and it's amazing, and it's to see the process for both of us over these years.
Yes. On the come up.
Making it happen. Come on. So,
Definitely.
good luck on everything, and we'll have you on again as
Thank you
your
so much
process
for sure.
continues.
Yes.
This is all an art. Well, the art of music tech, but it's just the art of creating what you want to. Where you want to be in your life. And the steps you have to take, and you have to take them way before they even happen. Take classes, seminars, make it happen, or put out your own thing and create from scratch yourself. It's YouTube, all that kind of stuff. I mean,
exactly.
we
Push yourself.
both,
Keep learning. Be persistent and trust the process.
You heard it here. Let's go. Again, Liselle Bertrand. Now, you can see her work possibly on the Run Tour 2, World Tour. Jay-Z and Beyonce killing the game. And you work with my friend Quiz on that tour. So
Yes, I do.
Quiz is the man. He's helped us out in so many ways. Shout out to him.
Yes, we're gonna have him soon too.
Soon. So I'm glad to have. I'm gonna have 2 members from this gigantic tour that everybody's talking about. So thank you again, Liselle.
Thank you.
What's your social media, or how do people find you?
My Instagram is XTRABELLE. That is Extra Bell. And I am also on Facebook, Liselle Bertrand.
So I got some questions. And hey, just look at the beautiful pictures that you have and like it. Let's go and follow her and see her process continue, as well as ours. We're on 23dbproductions.com. 23db Productions. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, everything. Under 23db Productions, you can hit us up about recording work, podcast, creating podcasts, all that kind of stuff. We're kind of consulting, doing all of that. All right. Again, thank you for listening. Please share, comment, rate us on iTunes. We're on YouTube. iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podbean. Thanks again from Liselle, Dennis, and
All right.
myself. Let's go.
Let's go, guys.
For more information of booking 23DB Productions, visit their website at 23dbproductions.com. Like and follow 23DB Productions at Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter for the latest work.